overview, and we're gonna move on to Toast. What do you have for us?
Hello, it's me.
Chris.
Hello.
Near, what do
Yeah.
you know about the year 0085?
Not much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, why would the year
Why?
be 0085? How do they
Near,
know
would
that
you?
it's going to go 4 more digits?
That's 89
more, I
is isn't that a Z double zeta? No, yeah, because zeta's at 87, correct?
So yeah.
Oh, well, that's what I mean. I don't know.
Where am I going with
So
this?
your series, where your series is, do you want me to read it out loud here?
No,
Uh,
no,
okay, I'll read it.
no.
I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire, also known as Ora Seikan Kokka no Akutoku Ryoushu. Also, in short, I believe they just call it like Intergalactic Empire Anime or Seikan Kokka Anime. I think that's the short. This is light novel spin, all right, light novel original, right? I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's Studio Quad, which has produced
Ah,
the best.
oh God, I
What
remember
have
this
they made?
series now. They
Don't you
did
love
Protocol
radio?
Rain,
Yeah,
and they did
yeah,
Inukaisa's dog.
yeah. Only
my
one of those
fucking
series was good,
God,
so
dude.
yeah.
I can't. And this list is amazing, actually. They did Protocol Rain, they did Inukaisa's dog, they did Kuroitsu-san from the Monster Development Department, which I covered, which wasn't like terrible, but it was very budget. And then they did last season, I'm Living with an Otaku ni Kunoichi. They did that one. This list is
Dark, did you do that
amazing.
one?
What is happening?
Darky, did you?
No,
I don't think
I
anybody
don't think
covered
No,
that
I
one.
don't think
yeah, I don't think
anyone did.
anyone did.
I almost
All
covered
right.
it, I think, but it
Yeah,
was like
I
whatever.
almost covered it too, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so out of this, only one of those series was good. And yeah, so the story goes, there's this dude. I forget the name's dude, or the name of the dude.
It
I
is
don't.
Liam Sarah Bonfield.
That's not the name of the dude, you
Wow.
liar. Look at this guy
wait.
just reading the synopsis.
Yeah, I apologize.
So there's this dude. He's like, "Oh, I work for a black company and I have a wife and kid, but it's okay as long as I have the wife and kid." Then he's trying to live an honest life, a righteous and kind life, and whatever. But he's being taken advantage of by his black company boss and whatnot. And then while he's doing his company work, he sees his wife having lunch with some random stranger.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then
and then he dies or what?
Yeah, and then he dies.
and then he's being blamed for company embezzlement or something and whatnot after seeing his wife with a random stranger. And then when he tries to, then his daughter gets into an accident, and the wife's like, "Let's go to the hospital. We have to give blood." And then the dude was like, "Oh, I'm AB. My blood type is AB." And then the mom's like, "Oh, my blood type is O." And then like, all right, ma'am, you come with us to donate to your blood. You donate your blood to your daughter because your daughter is type O. And what do you guys know what that means, right? In terms of
Um,
blood types.
Isn't that like the rare
you
one or whatever?
It's universal receiver, isn't it?
as long
Oh,
as it's O minus. Yeah.
Oh, so she could
Oh,
be. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so she could be a donor or a receiver. Which is it? Universal donor or universal receiver?
O
If
minus is a universal donor, right? Yeah. Yes, Toast?
if the father is AB, the mother is O, and the daughter is O, what does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know fucking anything about blood types,
Uh,
man.
the
Oh,
mother, only the mother can donate to
yeah,
the
but why?
child.
Why is the daughter O? Oh, okay. I'll just spell it out. The only way the daughter could be O negative or O is if both parents are O.
Oh, okay, I see.
Is that how
So
it works?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
because O is recessive. So
Yeah.
a cruel twist of fate. The daughter that he thought he had with the chick is not his daughter. She's been cheating on him with another man. And then he
Okay.
finds out and he gets angry. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to leave you now because that's not really our daughter. And then he gets caught up with a divorce and the scandal.
Wait,
So what?
how much of this is actually like how much time does this take in the actual
This is the
anime? Like, is
entire
it
first episode.
what?
Jesus Christ, bro.
So yeah, so
What?
now
Okay.
he's down in his luck. He's got to pay divorce fees plus the embezzlement fees of 50 million yen, and then he overworks and dies. And then on his
Okay.
deathbed, this
Pretty standard.
mysterious dude comes in. Uh, who's the green haired dude in Blaze Blue? Hazama, is that him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this Hazama looking dude who comes at him at his deathbed, and he's like, "Oh, you've lived a poor, sad life. My name is the Guide. Do you want to be isekai'd into a different life and whatnot?" And he's like, "Yes."
Yeah, sure, yeah.
He's like, "Yes." And then the guide is like, "Oh, I'm a being of," like he says something like, "Oh, I love seeing dudes like you fall into despair because I feed off a negative emotion and stuff. So
Oh, okay, he's like a demon or something like that.
I
Like
guess
he's
like a
yeah, okay.
demon dressed like Hazama from Blaze Blue, except he's
That
got white
happens.
hair and he's voiced by a Takehito Koyasu, so it's Dio, but Kazuma looking dude. And he's like, ha ha ha, I feed off your negative emotion and whatnot. It's like, how does it
Okay.
feel to be betrayed by the ones you love? And then the main character is like, oh, I tried to live a virtuous and kind life, but no more. I will no longer be the one who being taken advantage of. I will be the one to take advantage of others. So
Okay.
and that's why he's the Akutoku, the evil galactic overlord, in his next life. Because
What
yeah, I guess that
what I'm
his
wondering
supposed.
is also like the rest of this is obviously from the premise is just sort of quote unquote, not really, subverting expectations where it's like he just tries to be a villain, but ends up doing good things, right? But like this kind of makes the whole revenge setup irrelevant, right? It's not really like doesn't it, right? It's not even like Arifureta where
Yeah,
he's
I was
like
gonna say
Kirikara
because
Tsundere. It's like because Arifureta is one thing and Arifureta is still bad because it's like Arifureta is like I'm gonna do bad things. Fuck, I hate everyone. And then he kind of grows a heart of gold, right? That's different because like he's essentially a tsundere at that point. Um, but
the
this
whole
is like, yeah, this is different, right?
the whole thing about, I mean, that's already a red flag for me because it's like, oh, I was being taken advantage of in my past life, and now I'm going to be reborn into a new world because he got to pick like between a bunch of choices. There was like
Mhm.
a standard isekai, a period isekai, a dinosaur
What?
isekai, apparently,
That's okay.
and then like a western. But it's like, oh, here's one
What
with
the fuck? Okay.
Here's the one with robots and magic. He's like, oh, I picked that one because I used to have this friend that, like, my one reigning friend who texted me out, even though I'm dying from overworking. And he's like, oh, you want to watch
Mhm.
this cool robot anime with me? And he's like, oh, that guy's my only friend, kind of
Okay.
things. So I guess that's the premise.
What?
But yeah, you like he's trying. It's there. It's a plot point that I see is going to make sense in the future. But yeah, the whole revenge thing is like, oh, I'm going to have revenge on. It's like I've been betrayed this life. I will have revenge in the next life, and I'm like, who's he going to have revenge on? Because when he's dead, he's not coming back, so he can't have revenge on his ex-wife or whatnot.
Yeah, he's just at that point he's just saying, "I'm gonna screw everybody in the next world, right? In the other
Yeah,
world." That's essentially what he's saying.
but I guess that a whole thing of revenge, uh, revenge on his previous life is an ongoing plot point it's because the guide, the guide as he calls himself, is stuck in the previous world of Japan, and he's doing stuff over there. So there's plot points between the isekai world and Japan over happening at simultaneously, which is weird.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's kind of convoluted, but personally, I waved it off like, oh, this is a stupid motive for revenge. But since there's actual stuff happening in both worlds, so actually makes sense now. But yeah, and then he gets reincarnated to the isekai world as Liam Sarah Banfield, and he's like, oh, that's where the that's where the plot's kind of gets janky over there
My
because
question is like, isn't this sort of supposed to be? I mean, from what it looks like, it's supposed to be like a smaller scale. No, when I say like a smaller scale isekai, at the end of the day, it's like the story is relatively simple, right? It's just like it becomes like an episodic thing where he tries to do, or maybe at best like mini arcs, where he tries to do like evil empire kind of stuff, right? As the ruler, and then he ends up doing having like the opposite effect or whatever, right? But is there actual foreshadowing of more complex things happening, for instance, like interactions between his empire/world with Earth? Is that like an actual thing?
I don't know, but I
Oh,
assume there might be because of the
no, yeah.
ongoing presence of the guide, as they call it. The guide being
Oh, okay, I
very,
see where
very
you're going. Yeah. Mhm.
because the guide is the one who brought him over to the other world, and he's been monitoring him,
So
and
he's like skulking around. So that's why,
he's
okay.
skulking around in Japan, but over there he's repeatedly bringing up stuff that he's planning to do over
I
or
see.
to the
I
main
see.
character
Uh-huh.
because
Uh-huh.
like right out the gate you can tell that the guide is not a good person and whatnot
Yeah, yeah,
because
exactly, exactly.
it's like, oh, here, you can go to this isekai, but he doesn't tell him that there's a catch, and
Mhm.
the catch is that because the guide like feeds off of negative emotions and like thrives on it,
Mhm.
he sent the main character Liam to that world, and he's going to and he mentions that, oh, you fool, I'm going to expose you to a lot of hardship and living a long life because over there in the isekai world people live for hundreds of years, so he's going to
Oh,
he's
okay, okay.
he's going to mess around with him a lot, kind of in the way
Mhm.
that what's that dude what's the dude in Yojo Seki, Existence X or whatever, as Sonzai X, as Tanya calls him.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
know.
I
He's
know what
kind
you're talking about. Yeah,
he's
okay.
kind of
Duh.
the
Yeah.
the overlying villain where he's going to make the main character in this one like experience a lot of hardship because he feeds off of negative emotions. So
Mhm.
that that's the overlying plot that you can see that's happening over there, like over
Okay.
there, while he's fiddling around with in Japan and doing whatever. But
I see,
yeah,
I see, I see. Okay.
but yeah, what else? So the moment he gets isekai'd over there, he's 5 years old, and he's it's his parent, his parents for his fifth birthday. They're like, oh hey, cool, you like a maid? Here, let's build you a robot maid. And so
What? Okay.
they build him a robot maid, and he chooses the specs, and
Uh-huh.
her name's Amagi, and she's voiced by Ueda Reina.
Okay.
That's a cool name, I guess. I don't know
Ueshama,
who
yes.
I don't know any of her roles.
Yeah.
She sounds pretty new. Apparently she was in what was it, Isekai Suicide Squad? I don't know what that is. Near, do you know what that is?
Yeah.
This maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
So okay. So when
but
Elena
yeah.
comes
So
in as the maid, right?
Yeah, and then the mom's like, "Oh, cool, you built your maid. Okay, bye. We're leaving."
Why? Okay.
And they're like, "Okay,
Sure.
so it's your fifth birthday. You're the man of the house now. Me and your father are going to live in like are going to leave our this planet, and move to like the Imperial City planet. You get to be the man
Okay.
of the house of our empire,
Okay.
and in exchange, like in exchange for you being the man of the empire now, or like being charged of our entire empire, you have to send us a pension every month." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And so so I can't sign a contract and leaves. And I guess that's the beginning of one of his hardships that he's supposed to go through,
Mhm.
like made by the guide, because he's 5 years old, but now he has to go through a hard life of being the like the count of an entire territory all by himself. But then there's also this plot of I mentioned before that people in this isekai live long lives.
Mhm.
So there's, I want to say, at least 2 or 3 time skips that happen within 3 episodes, like within the first within episodes 2 or 3.
Oh, because they have to kind of get him up to speed, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I see that. Yeah.
there's a lot of things like, okay, and then they're like, okay, since you're 5 years old and you don't know how to govern a like the govern yet, we're gonna let your we're gonna put you in a time capsule to sleep learn for, was it 6 months? Was it 6 months? And in those 6 months, you're going to learn 10 years worth of governing experience and combat training and whatnot.
Okay.
And then there was this whole thing about, oh, but who will govern the territory while you're gone? Because now you're the leader of this territory. And they're like, and he goes like, why not bring up my cool maid robot? But then
Okay.
the butler's like, what's his name? Butler is named Brian, who's voiced by Ueda Yoji. Is Ueda Yoji related to Ueda Reina? I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so.
But yeah. So and then the brothers are like, "Oh, young master, you can't do that. Don't you know that AI nearly destroyed the universe in this world?" Uh, so now that guess that's another hardship that the the guy this was supposed to bring on the main character, because you got this cool robot, but they don't follow the 3 laws of robotics over there, and the AI nearly destroyed the world. So that's another convoluted plot point.
Mhm.
But yeah, and then like next time he comes out of the pod, it's 2 years later, and then there's another time skip afterwards where it's like 5 years later, and I'm like, what? We're really just gonna?
Okay.
I think there's time skips in this series just because they mentioned that people in this, they mentioned that people live long lives in this
Mhm.
universe. And what was it? You have to be at least 100 years old before you're considered an adult. I don't know. It's a really convoluted plot point, but I want to say that they
I mean,
brought.
most of the plot doesn't really matter that much in this. I mean, other than the whole like the worlds potentially colliding because of the guide or whatever, but it's like, or bad things happen because of the guide, but it's like the story setup of like the people's lives and stuff like that doesn't really matter that
I
much,
want to
right?
say that there's the reason why there's a bunch of time skips, and I feel there's going to be many more time skips in this series,
Okay.
is because it's about managing a territory and creating a galactic empire, right?
Yes, but it's like
In order to circumvent that and to actually create a galactic empire, it doesn't take more. It takes a long time to do so, like more than
Mhm,
1 or 2 years or a few months to like build an empire and an army. So that they're
mhm,
trying to, oh, this the whole thing about, oh, I'm going to live along, like people live 500 to 600 years in this series, is so they can like say, oh, we time skip this many amount of years and we built our spaceships and our cool robots by then, in order to skip a lot of the filler.
oh, okay.
So I'm like, I got you there. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. What else? And yeah, I guess
That's pretty much about it.
the last major thing that happening is he's looking for a swordsmanship teacher, and like he finds this mysterious samurai dude named Yasushi, who's trying to teach him like the flash style of katana combat thing, because they have cool robots, right? But these cool robots are powered by magic and thought. So depending on your like actual physical prowess and your combat experience, depends how will determine how good you are in with robot combat. So he's trying to find like a swordsmanship instructor. But as it turns out, this swordsmanship instructor is a con man fake who doesn't know anything about swordsmanship at all. So it's another one of those things where it's like, oh, this is supposed to be another hardship for the main character to uh to experience, but the main character doesn't know this at all. So it's like there's this you have this this faker of a swordsmanship teacher
Yeah.
who's there, but but it turns out Liam's actually pretty good at swordsmanship, even if he's learned being taught by a faker. So it's another useless plot point of, oh, another hardship, but he gets through it inadvertently and whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah, so I feel like so most of it kind of does seem to be centralizing around this. How do I say this? The standard like episodic slash mini arc kind of thing of slightly wonky. Oh, like I don't know what's going on, but I'm just gonna be doing my like I was born in this noble evil empire
yeah,
ruling family kind of thing, and then kind of good things happen alongside
yeah.
it. Like,
Most of the stuff, the bad stuff that happens to him in like the life is you can like the viewer can obviously see that this was set up by the guide, because the guide mentions like, oh, I'm gonna make your life miserable, but Liam
yeah, yeah,
himself
yeah, yeah, yeah.
doesn't know that the guide is out to get him just yet.
Yeah,
But yeah, so it's kind of obvious. I will say though that the fake swordsmanship teacher is voiced by Shinichiro Miki, which is that's cool, I guess. You know who that is?
that's
That's
it's
Takumi, my dudes, from Initial D, or as Nier knows him, fake assassin.
Doesn't he also do the there's like he like does if I remember correctly, he also does like random mascot voices here and there. It's like very
Yeah,
weird.
he's also
Yeah.
Urahara Kisuke. These are two prolific voice actors, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. He's very prolific.
You got
Absolutely.
Dio as the evil god,
Oh, he
and then
does do yeah, okay. He did James in Pokemon. Yeah, I
yeah,
forgot.
that's
I
him.
keep remembering. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah. Very cool.
overall there's 3 episodes. He the main character just found out like someone's been embezzling funds, and he takes care of them. He's like, oh, this is the start of my Akutoku. That's the word, right? Is it Akutoku? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
What is Akutoku evil lord? If that's the word for it.
No, no, Akutoku is just like a general thing for like it being like corrupt or evil, something being corrupt or
Yeah,
evil.
he keeps saying Akutoku because he's like, I'm going to be the Akutoku. I'm going to
Yeah,
be the one who takes advantage of people, but he hasn't done anything really bad as of yet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you think so? Do you think this series is worth watching on this sort of like because it's like this is the stick, right? It's like he's not really super evil, but it's like he always starts the
Uh,
episode or the mini arc with I'm gonna be bad, and then like good things happen, right? Generally. So do you think the stick is worth
the
watching?
most evil I would say that he's done is in the first episode, at like the very beginning, like the very beginning of the series. They have this action scene where, oh, he's him and his him and his Galactic Empire are attacking another series, another bunch of another fleet, and he's wiping them out all by himself.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
this,
I'm
I
not saying
guess,
he's
that's his
actually.
Akitoku.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, do you think it's actually worth watching? Like this, because we know what the shtick is. He's not actually doing like truly bad things or whatever. But do you think that like not actually doing the bad stuff and just being like, oh, interestingly, good things happen, is this shtick worth watching in this series? Like the way
Uh,
it does it?
I I believe that uh, is it worth watching is a loaded question because I don't know if this series is good or not as of yet because nothing's really happened. I will
Okay.
say that
Well, that's not really a good sign.
I mean, he hasn't built his galactic empire and isn't conquering other planets as of yet, is the kind of thing. So as of first 3 episodes, there's not much to go on. But I will say though, this is kind of the low hanging fruit
Mhm.
compared to a better series about cool robots and intergalactic ships and being reborn into a cool robot series.
Uh-huh.
It's nowhere near as good. Dark, you know what series I'm talking about, right? Yes.
I kind of don't.
Ex-
What are you
Uh,
talking about? Knights of Magic or what?
Hell yeah! Because the
Oh,
first thing
okay,
I was gonna
yeah.
say is like, oh, is this another like a Knights and Magic? No, it's not like Knights and Magic. Knights and Magic had everything going for it, and it was really cool. This one, not as much. It's several steps below that because the main character himself is not all that interesting. Once he's become like a too-big character once he got betrayed and he's like, oh, I'm going to become the Akutoku and no one will betray me. So it's he's is it supposed to be relatable that, oh, my wife cheated on me and I'm on my deathbed because of her and I'm going to take advantage of everyone, but he really doesn't yet.
Mhm.
So that's why I call him like I call him a two-bit character because, well, I understand his motives, but his actions so far are pretty weak compared to other series with actual MCs who are like, oh, I'm going to take revenge. So his revenge itself is pretty weak so far. That's what's not really interesting. Um,
Yeah.
the other characters themselves are not that good either. Like I guess the main female character is Amagi, but she's the AI robot. There's not much emotion coming from her as of yet.
Mhm.
If I had to pick like the best character, I guess is the guide, but that's like slim pickings because he's the only one that's actually doing stuff in the series so far, and like he's the one moving the plot along. So yeah, a pretty weak character so far, but like I said, this is just the first. Is it fair to say that this is the first 3 episodes? Like I
I
could
think
give
it's
it
one of the
another
first three
chance.
episodes for sure.
I don't know. Is it fair? Because I got 3 episodes and I'm not really impressed by it.
Uh,
Uh,
I mean, I think if you're 3 episodes in, even like the people who are like, who like when they're like, oh, bro, you gotta watch the series at least for a bit, but I think they would be, you know, hard pressed to be like, you gotta watch way more of this, right? So I think you could have a solid, at least a first bite at it. That's like, I wouldn't
but yeah,
really.
whatever. Audio visuals, it's fine, I guess. The like the main draw I noticed would be the combat, like the ship to ship and the mech to mech combat. And I will say that the models themselves look pretty cool.
Mhm.
They're not CG like between the mech to mech combat, but when uh, when the mechs like when the a mech gets slashed and it explodes, it's not really doesn't really feel good, man. It's like a generic sound and kaboom. It's not really the good
Oh,
kind
okay.
of. I'm not expecting like what is it? Witch from Mercury levels of sound design with like beams and stuff. It's like, oh, here's a sword clash, and then an explosion. It's a pretty cut and paste explosion sound. They're not unique, and like the explosions are full explosions of the mech. There's not like damage you can see. They just explode in one hit. So it's not good.
Okay.
It's not good mech fighting. The beams and the fights between the ships are better because you can actually see damage and whatnot. But since the main character pilots a mech, their mech fighting isn't as good, really. Yeah. Let's see. What else can I say? Opening is Uchu Teki Mystery by Saishu Mirai Shoujo. It's all right. And then the ending is Nantonaku by Nagi Fujisaki. And the ending's kind of lame. Doesn't even have a dance. The ending is just, oh, I got this cute maid robot. I'm gonna show her off, and it's just Amagi doing things. So, they didn't try because in order to make in order to sell your opening or ED, you have to have a dance nowadays, and they don't have a dance. So, pretty lukewarm. So yeah, all in all, I would say this series is not looking promising.
It's a little bit too much of a drag.
It's not much of a drag, but it's pretty generic and bland. It's not it's not exciting as other series with a revenge plot. I like to say, I guess I could compare it to Tanya. It's not as good as Tanya. It's definitely not as good as Knights and Magic. And yeah, the main character is not really that interesting either compared to the main characters in either one of those series. But I mean, is it the worst thing I've seen of this?
What do you
Not
mean
really.
you've seen of? Are you talking about like amongst
The revenge.
What are you comparing it to?
The revenge plot is weak. The Intergalactic Empire is going to be hand waved because of the numerous time skips. So I think that plot line can be weak. But it's not egregiously bad in a way. So overall, I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So I mean, watch it if you want to. I'm really pretty lukewarm about this series. It's not egregious, but it's not exactly that interesting compared to, like I said, Knights and Magic or Tanya the Evil.
Right. I think I mean Knights of Magic aside, Tanya the Ojoseki is a pretty unique series. So I mean, the later development aside, I would say like it will probably blow something like Intergalactic Empire out of the water, especially the way you're describing it.
But yeah, like I said, I only expected one. When I watched this, I only expected one, but I got 3 episodes. So even with 3, it's not really all that great. But I mean, there's a reason why I threw this one out first over my other picks, because I think my other picks this season are pretty cool. But yeah, 7 out of 10. I'm pretty lukewarm about this, so watch it if you want. I don't care. I'm not your mother. I guess.
So yeah, I think that'll probably be not very recommended, but yeah, a little bit unfortunate that it is a little bit kind of just
I
not that
mean, yeah,
impressive.
I had
despite the
high
premise.
hopes because cool. Maybe I went into this thinking that would be like Knights and Magic too much because that series is fantastic. I want a season 2 so bad of that.
Knights of Magic is very different. It's like because Knights of Magic is very much written from the standpoint of an otaku.
It's yeah. It's written as someone who
this
loves
series,
the mecha genre.
and like that sort of like the author just wanted to almost express that in another genre that he liked, which is again like isekai, right? But this is different, where this is just kind of like one of those web novel writers. They trying to kind of spool off something, essentially, just trying to write some fan fiction. So I think there's quite a difference in terms of like what was
Which,
expected in Knights of Magic.
which is weird because I should have mentioned this a long time ago, but the author of the series is Yomu Mishima,
Uh-huh.
and if you know who that is, they wrote a much better series called The World of Otome Games is Tougher Mobs. So
I mean, that series wasn't that good either.
it's
I'm
but
gonna be very real.
it's leagues better than this though.
Yes, it's better. It is like the character interactions are better for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's I think he probably ran out of ideas very quickly. But yeah. Anyways, any
Like
last words?
even in the world of Otome Games, they put Lee. What is the game? What's the name of the dude in Otome Game? Leon? Is it Leon? Oh,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Leon.
Even
Okay.
Leon's like, oh, I'm the villain. I'm going to steal all this. I'm going to steal stuff from the main character. Even then, I would say that Leon is better written than Liam right now because Liam Leon from Otome Games is written like he tries to be an asshole, but he isn't. He's a lot more thoughtful of his actions because of this.
Mhm.
The way they've written Liam in like Evil Galactic Empire, he tries to be an asshole, but he's not at all. It's like I've called a paper tiger in a kind of way, where I'm going to be this evil overlord, but I'm really not. So yeah, I don't know why he's trying to written two characters that are similar, but one of them is written way better than the other. Yeah, kind of weird.
Unfortunate. But
Also,
yeah.
World Tomege has a lot more funny moments in this. There's nothing funny in this series at all. No
Oh, really?
comedy at
The
all.
humor,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is
Again, I
super
think he just
serious.
I think he just ran out of fuel on this one. I don't think, this author had a ceiling, he kind of hit it with Ultimate Game, and then it was kind of downhill from there, I
Yeah,
think.
not
But,
his best work is what I'm saying.
yeah,
He's done better.
yeah.
That's about it.
All right. Anyways, thank you very much, Toast. And again, this series is called I'm the Evil Lord of an Intergalactic Empire, also known as Seikan Kokka no Akutoku Ryoushu. So this is again for short Intergalactic Empire or Seikan Kokka for short. And a little bit unfortunate that it did turn out this way, a little bit more of a generic kind of mess. But we can't catch your lightning in the bottle all the time, right? So